Previously, on Rise of the Runelords. After dealing the final blow to the Skinsaw man and ending his murderous rampage in Sandpoint, our heroes decided to try to burn the misgivings to the ground, only to find that something had inhabited the house and was using the unnatural mold growing within to extinguish any attempt at pyromancy. Once the group came to the realization that nothing short of a high-level priest could cleanse the house, they did no less than what we've come to expect of our gallant heroes. They shrugged their shoulders and decided they'd get to it. Eventually. After heading back to Sandpoint, the group stopped by the sheriff's office to let him know the killer had been stopped by dropping the desiccated corpse of the Skinsaw man on the sheriff's desk. After giving Sheriff Hemlock and Sergeant-at-Arms Dunhall the play-by-play of Spooky House No. 1, the group received an invitation from the sergeant to accompany his group back to Magnamar and speak with Justice Ironbriar about similarly gruesome slayings in Magnamar. After convincing the sergeant to delay his departure until after Devrin Hosk could be properly laid to rest, Icky and Geisen went straight to the Rusty Dragon to enjoy some mind-clearing alcohol, while Grelda, Tarnin, and Sinishi went to speak with Naffer Vosk about a proper funeral for their fallen friend. After squaring away the details of the funeral procession, the group finally turned in for the night. Not everyone at the Rusty Dragon would find a full night's sleep, however. Wooed by Grelda's proficiency in pummeling, penchant for producing perfect pints, and her great axe, the inn's owner Amiko offered to keep the barbarian brewmaster company throughout the night. If you want the rest of that story, you're going to have to ask Sasha. The next morning, a solemn funeral procession moved through the village to pay respects to Hosk before he was laid to rest. After saying their personal goodbyes to the slain stablemaster, the group decided to leave for Magnamar ahead of Sergeant-at-Arms Dunhall to see to the person giving the Skinsaw man his list of names. Today, the adventure continues.
So you guys had, after the funeral in the morning, you had gotten on your horses and headed out. The funeral was early. I would say you guys probably ended up getting on the way at about 8-ish, 8:30. The trip to Magnamar is going to take you, even leaving that early, if you want to take a rest in the evening, it'll take you all day, and then a few hours to start the next day.
Yep, no rush.
Otherwise, you could rush, and then instead of taking
rush.
the rest, you would get a point of exhaustion if you wanted to continue. But, just letting you know.
Point of exhaustion?
No rush.
Oh, you seem very strong about this, but I feel like maybe Icky might have feelings about the rushing or the looking ahead or the flying.
I would like to... no, I'm... Icky can be patient.
What?
Except when it comes to being snuck a beer.
We're leaving ahead of the sergeant and his group. We're leaving sooner. This appeases the Fatang.
I mean, I'm a little disappointed that we're taking the road and not going off-road and possibly goblin hunting.
Oh, that is so. I don't remember. Was that the? Tarnan asked specifically about goblin tribes in the area.
Yes.
I don't remember, and so that was answered, but I don't remember if that answer was public knowledge.
None.
No, and it was also not public knowledge. He was careful to say it where Sinishi couldn't hear, if I remember.
Correct.
Right. So Sinishi doesn't know that.
So,
But we
yeah.
as players all know that there are no goblins left in the area.
There are no tribes. There might be onesie-twosies, but the tribes all joined at Thistletop, and you were disbanded. So currently there are no goblin tribes to speak of in the general Sandpoint area.
Oh, Sean,
Yes.
small request. As we're leaving Sandpoint, are any of our favorite guards there to watch us go?
I would say
You're saying characters. I can't help it.
as not this early in the morning. The time you had met Stephen and the other guard was more late afternoon into early evening. They took more of the evening to night shift. So the guards outside of the main gate, the two of them flanking it, are not ones you recognize, no.
Okay, fair.
All right, so it will be, you are taking the Lost Road, or the Lost Coast Road, and it is normally well patrolled, well traveled. So I will tell you that you aren't going to run into any issues along your way. So between the time you leave and when you make camp that evening, if there is anything you would like to roleplay during that time, feel free. Otherwise, we can cut it to that night and on to the next morning. So that kind of is, this would be your chance to roleplay along the road if you would like. If you don't want to, we can just skip that.
Icky would be kind of singularly focused on moving on. If anybody wants to engage him, he would probably engage back, but would otherwise just focus on getting the Magmar.
Hey, anybody want to jump off road for a bit and see if we find any goblins?
I love it when Tarnan reaches for the dice. It's always bad.
Right.
Tarnan, thus far quiet amongst the entire journey, suddenly perks up. Yes, we should find goblins. Goblins, and delaying would be good. Lead on, Sanishi.
Relda does not follow and actually shoots Tarnan a very confused look because we just had a conversation about Icky caring and wanting to go fast. Like, I actually point at Icky.
Yeah, Icky kind of, but like shrugs, rolls his eyes, and keeps heading up on the way we're heading on the road.
Does Sanishi care that not everyone is interested?
Well, where's he going? Like goblins?
I guess he's really concerned about getting the Magmar and hunting down the killers and stopping more people from dying and finding out who else is on this list. More than they're concerned about your need to find goblins. How rude.
Just disappointing.
I understand it's disappointing, but I mean, I made a promise to you, and if you say that we need to go look for goblins now, more than we need to take care of the other two's needs, I could be swayed.
It's okay. We can keep going for the other two. It is the right thing to do. Just
That's very good of you, Sanishi. Thank you for considering Icky and Grelda's needs.
not like they considered mine and place and
So I think when I put together this recording, I'm going to put an Xbox Live achievement on the bottom saying character growth.
I will count that as a victory. Thank you.
If I could sum up the way he looks right now in a GIF, it would be that hairy lumberjack man with the zoom in and the shoulder like hot.
Nice.
But bird person rather than lumberjack man.
So, Sanishi and Tarnan rejoin the group. Tarnan, surprisingly, is at the rear of the group now.
I'm just gonna hang out at the rear a bit too here.
I'm sorry, say again?
Sanishi's gonna hang out at the rear as well. kind of just having with a very thoughtful look on her face as she is kind of.
Can I tell you something, Shinichi?
Assessing her place and her worth within this group.
Can I tell you something, Shinichi?
Mm-hmm.
I don't think goblins are worth your time. I think you are ready for something much bigger. I think you were meant for something more. And seeing you growing and putting that aside long enough to help your friends out makes me, well, I don't know, because if I can admit something to you, I'm really not looking forward to going back to Magnamar. And
Why not? It's just a city.
It is so much more than a city for me. I grew up there from the time I was 7, and a lot of significant emotional events happened there. I literally left Magnamar 3 days before I met you guys, with the intent of never going back, of starting something new.
All right, time out.
Fine, be that way.
Sorry, no, just for continuity's sake. The fire was 5 years ago.
I didn't say anything about the fire. I just said
I was under the impression that was when you left Magnamar. That's 5 years ago.
I left Magnamar, yes, and went all over the place trying to find that guy. But when I came back, I got the contact.
Okay.
And then I left.
Okay, I just want to make sure that
I kind of closed off some loose ends, and I went.
Okay.
And that's when
I just
left,
want to.
and I ended up in San. Okay.
Just want to make sure. I just want to make sure that was 5 years ago, and just make sure we're on the same timeline.
Yep.
That's it.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
Thank you. Being honest and blunt with you, Sinishi, I've been trying to figure out how to help you get past goblins and move on to things that are worth your time, because you're a fierce warrior. You have the potential to take out much greater foes than these stupid goblins. They're not even a challenge for you. Come on, let's face it. You kick the crap out of them. And I understand maybe that's just a fun thing for you, but you're worth so much more than that. You know what I mean? And I'm wondering if maybe my trying to help you forward is a reflection upon myself avoiding moving forward and going back to Magnamar.
But we're going back to Magnamar.
Physically, yes. Mentally, I wonder if I'm really going. Does that make sense?
No. We're going to Magnamar.
Is this just a conversation between you and Sinishi, or is this loud enough for everybody to hear?
Well, since everyone else kept going forward, I'm assuming that no one else is, unless they decide to slow down to hear why we're lagging behind, it's going to be just between the two of us.
That would be Icky's call, and then what you think Geisen would be doing.
Icky's moving. Icky's keeping pace.
Yeah, Geisen would probably have stuck around with those two, because I mean, let's face it, Geisen has his 2 drinking buddies staying on the road.
Yeah, so I mean so Icky and Geisen probably would not. Then it'd be depend on if Grelda would or not. But
nope, she's all about.
Then yeah,
her assumption at this point would basically be that they're talking about goblins, and I think she's not assuming this is a strong conversation. She thinks basically they're maybe planning to go kill goblins. I don't know.
Yeah, no, that doesn't make sense. You're here. You're with us. We're going. You're in. You're not. You haven't gone insane. You're not possessed. So your mind is going to Magnamar as well. So.
Tarnan laughs. Sometimes I really appreciate how singular your mind can be. It's a good thing. It is a good thing. It's meant to be a good thing.
Thank you. And I will think on what you have said. I have. Is there? Can you pass me a Kleenex, love? They're on the table.
She got all emotional about me talking about goblins and you being better than that? What the hell?
I'm betting there is a spider of some sort.
It is not a spider, because I would have screamed and ran.
Yeah.
It is a different type of bug that I just don't want to move too much before I am able to kill. Like, yeah, y'all would have known if it was a spider. There would have been much more.
Yeah, if it was a spider, she would
There
have
are many
screamed.
screams.
I do not like spiders.
Or
Okay.
goblins.
No, Jill does not like spiders.
Oh, but Jill likes goblins?
I haven't met a goblin. I don't know.
Oh, well, okay.
It's like,
Have you
even if
seen
I
Nate in the morning?
one, I'm frankly worse than Nate is in the morning. I think I'm kind of the more goblin-esque one when it comes down to it in the morning.
All right, fair enough.
Okay. Anyway, thank you. Yes, and I will. I'll think about back to Sinisha here. I'll think about what you've said, sir. I've got a lot of things to think about right now.
Anything I can help with might help me take my mind off of the things I don't want to think about in Magnamar right now.
But, sir, you're going to Magnamar.
You're right,
So
I am.
You have to be confronting those things, so shouldn't you be ready to confront them? So wouldn't thinking about them be good?
I can't disagree with that. Are there any things in your past that you'd rather not think about?
No.
Sometimes I envy that.
I don't want to think about it, I kill it. And it's done. And you just move on.
I'm not trying to belittle that thought, but are you suggesting that everything that I dislike I should just simply kill and move on with?
It helps.
I will consider that.
Oh, we both have a lot to consider on this ride.
Fair enough.
Continue riding in silence. Thank you.
Agreed.
Sinishi, thoughtful face.
Tarnan, thoughtful face.
All right.
It broke his face.
Tarnan's going to be quiet the rest of the trip unless somebody engages him.
Sinishi too, oddly enough.
Girlda will make up for that
Oh,
by
Lord.
periodically bursting into songs from her childhood that involve beer making and mining. Just, low level, not like really, really loud or anything. She's just clearly in a good mood for no apparent reason.
A very good rest last night. All
I
right.
feel like guys should probably be really chatty right now
Really? Thanks, Nate.
because that's
What would,
character.
Dyson be, what would he be characteristically chatty about? Are
Jeez.
you suggesting that he's upset that it's so quiet that he's got to find something to talk about, fill a space? I could see that.
Feel some tension. Just need to like
he's
just battle
he's
it out.
self-conscious because he knows that he doesn't fill much space.
Wow. Hey, Icky, what do you want to do once we get there? I mean, are you in the mindset where we should go to this manor right away, or should we, hit a few bars and ask questions first, or what are you thinking? Turner, what do you think?
I mean,
I don't know. Ask Icky.
questions are good, but we need to. I want to find these people as soon as possible, and wherever we get these answers, so long as we get them, that's.
What do you want to do once we find them?
Once we get all the right answers, I think we should go to a bar. Tarnan probably knows a good bar in there, huh?
I guess. Isn't he from there? Turner, aren't you from there? Yep. Oh, okay, that's cool. Do you know any bars? Yeah, I know a few. Well, don't keep us in suspense. Which ones are they? There's a couple of different ones. I mean, nothing that compares to Grelda's stuff. Ask her what she's making. Grelda! Now that you got your mouth full of hardtack.
Oh,
Nice. Don't flick it at me. We're on the food.
sorry. Kill the flying bug.
That is actually quite brilliant, Tarnan, because Brelda will proceed to fill the remainder of our entire trip talking about various brews, how Magnamar's brews tend a little bit more on the salty side, and they're actually a little weaker, oddly enough. Like, you wouldn't think that a light beer that would come from a seaside port would necessarily be weaker because there would be more sailors there. You'd think they would want a darker beer. Turns out that's not true. They want to drink all day long. So you end up with a brew that may have elements that come from the fact that it is a port town, and so you'll get some exotic spices here and there, but for the most part, the people who are in Magnamar that are the sailors who drink the most came from those places. So they come back and they want the tastes and sounds and scents of home. So although you'll get a couple of like side breweries that, if we have time, Grelda wouldn't mind stopping at, and here's a list of 5 or 10 of them, but for the most part, ad nauseum. I think I should stop because she would just keep going.
No, Tammy, that was all great, but could you please do it one more time in some sort of accent, please?
No, not being redone. Sorry.
I actually stopped at 5 to 10. I was kind of expecting that to be like 5 to 50. Just, given how big the city is.
It's
It's a
16,000
medium-sized
people.
town,
Yeah, it's
and
only
most of them are
16,000.
creating this boring brew.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it is only 16,000, but 16,000, it is also the second largest city in the entire continent.
It's a small continent.
Well, it's just this is old-timey.
What you want is actually a lot of new blood to make new beers, because when you have like really, really established places, they tend to make the same thing over and over again. So it's only when you've got these splintered offshoots of these younger people who are making their own breweries that you get some really cool stuff.
Whoa. Am I to understand that there is such a thing as blood beer?
As what beer?
Blood beer?
Probably. We tried it once. It didn't really go very well. There aren't really enough vampires out there who are interested in it, so we ended up aborting it because it was...
So why is it important then to have new blood?
Oh,
You're not-
new blood. Not blood in the beer. Blood in the people making the beer.
Don't start talking about Bloodblast again.
When a beer maker and a beer maker love each other very much, sometimes they make a new beer maker.
Is Grelda like subtly hinting at what her evening has resulted in?
No, because there was definitely no creation right there.
No.
I mean,
Additionally, Grelda has very little subtlety involved, so if you were to ask, you would get probably more detail than you'd like, except I won't do that because it's a Fade Black roleplay situation.
so Tammy won't tell, but Geralda will.
Except none of you saw it, so you may not actually know.
Nobody knows. Well, to my knowledge,
Yeah, who's
nobody
going to join the room? They might know.
Good point.
But yes, unless someone stops her, that's basically what your entire trip is going to be, including the setting up the camp, sitting at the campfire, cooking dinner. You wake up the next morning, it starts again. It will just continue until someone indicates that they're not listening and bored. So, the majority of the group indicates it. No, any single person listening at all, she'll just keep going. Yeah, that's accurate.
Icky tunes in every now and again because Icky likes Grelda.
Aw. And beer. He likes Grelda and beer.
Right. Like, he likes Grelda. The initial liking of Grelda having was like, you gave me beer. Wait, you make this beer? And then from there, she just built on it. So,
All right.
And
How many of you have ever seen Tarnan be quiet for more than an hour?
It's not quiet.
Fair.
I think I have.
You have? Interesting.
I think so, because Tarnan has a tendency to be quiet around Sinishi for some weird reason.
I think Tarnan talks more to Sinishi than anyone else.
True, but also in short sentences.
it's important to know your audience.
Do you
True.
really want him to speak in long sentences to her?
They're just like they're like pet command sentences.
Yeah,
like
Open
stay
door.
If Tarny could start
Open
speaking
door
in
gently.
prose to Sanishi, that'd be great.
here. Amazing.
The point I'm making is, if anyone's paying any attention to Tarnan's normal character, he seems withdrawn.
I feel like Tarnan and Sinishi have had plenty of times writing out in front of everyone else where we're just on guard mode watching, being quiet together.
That's an interesting point. Fair
So
enough.
Sinishi is just like, this is fucking normal. We're doing our jobs.
Yeah.
We're doing our social shit right now.
That's a very good point. Okay, never mind.
Yeah, Grelda might actually notice if she wasn't, talking the
Also,
whole time.
yeah.
So you will ride and get to the point where you have to find a camping spot for the night. So
I think we're way past that already.
No, but I'm saying because you would like stop, make a campfire, eat, do watches. So I don't know if that would, and since you're not riding and everybody's kind of in close proximity to each other from the time you start camp till the time you go to sleep, I don't know if that would change anybody's perspective.
Icky
Tarnan-
would.
Thank you. Tarnan would voluntarily take first watch to get everyone else to shut up and go to sleep, where he can just be with his own thoughts and then wake up whoever says they'll take the next watch.
Icky would take the next watch because he would have been inclined to take the first one as well, but after all it would have taken was a little bit of insistence from Tarnan for Icky to be like, okay. But he would then take the second.
Grelda would volunteer to take third then.
Okay.
Take whatever I'm assigned.
What was that, Jill?
I'll take whatever I'm assigned. Happily.
Yep. So after, if there's any resistance at all, there might be a conversation between Icky and Tarnan. In fact, having heard what you guys just said, I'm pretty sure Tarnan would say, okay, Icky and I'll take first watch. Grelda, you've got second. Sinishi, you're on third. Guys can get some sleep and be ready to cast spells or something.
Do some weird magic shit.
Would be a long way. No, I think that at the very least, like Icky's not so singular on this that he's he wouldn't at least acknowledge Tarnan's aloofness. So just as the shifts are switching, just so hey, what do you think about what do you think we're going to find in Magnamar? kind of just as a broad, like, the fuck's gonna go on when we're hitting this town, man?
To be blunt and honest with you, I don't know. I've been distracted by personal issues with this town. And I was about to ask you how you wanted to proceed. Maybe you can pull me out of my funk.
Well, it seems like this town has a few things that have become personal for us. I need to find these people who seem to think I'm so important to go killing for. I need to know why they feel that way. And we need to stop
Can I ask you? Do you really think it's you or just a likeness of you that they're killing for? Do you think it's specifically you, or they see something about you that reminds them of something? Based on the drawings and the descriptions that we've heard about, I don't think it's you. I think you just happen to meet just enough of this fanatical group's pull that they want it to be you. Does that make sense?
It makes sense, but there's still the possibility that's not the case, that it is something about me specifically. And this isn't something new. I've had. So Icky recounts the kind of like begrudgingly, but comes to he's starting to come to terms with it, explaining it to people who seem to get it. It's coming easier to him. So he explains the whole backstory thing, which I've explained at this point a few times. But to summarize, found a pool. What are we calling it?
Angry water.
Found a pool of angry water near the near homeland. As I started feeling the anger and murder and the bloodlust come over me, I ended up I was able to center myself and thrust it all down. But around me, chaos and violence and death erupted. I ended up being one of the few survivors, but then was blamed for it by the rest of my people, and I've I've been outcast for that. So this isn't something that is new. It's just, it feels like it's all happening over again. And I need to know why, and whatever the reason, whether it's me directly or not, I feel like it's my responsibility to stop it.
And I will say that when Icky is describing the feeling that came over him, that he centered himself on, Tarnan, he describes it in such a way that you recognize it as the same feeling that you felt when you were face to face, that you pushed down. The same feeling of wrathfulness, I guess would be the best way to put it. The deep-seated, welling anger that felt like it was going to overtake you when you were face to face.
Believe it or not, brother, I think I can relate. Maybe not the exact same circumstances, but similar feelings. Oddly enough, related to this town. and happenings in it.
Oh.
Yeah. I don't know that I'm ready to get into it right now, but the short version is someone very close to me ended up dying because of it, and in this chaos, in this violence, in this moment, I was able to step away. I was able to turn back from the edge of just letting it engulf me, of embracing it. And people I cared about paid the consequence. Maybe it has nothing to do with... I guess what I'm trying to say is, I don't know how you feel, but I have an idea of... I have a concept of what you're speaking about. Is that fair to say?
I think I understand.
If I can help you come to resolution, maybe that'll help me as well. I've got your back. Even if I'm more distant than usual, I've got your back.
Thank you, and I yours. I just hope that if we are cursed, you and I, we can find a way to break this curse. I don't want to see any more death because of me.
I submit to you that we are in the wrong line of work if that is the case.
Icky chuckles dryly. It's like, you know what I mean.
I do, but if you could see in my mind's eye where we're heading, there will be much death, and we will be a part of it. But the whole purpose behind it is to prevent the death and suffering of those that we do care for.
Indeed.
Well, best of luck to all of us. Go wake Grelda, it's her shift.
Or is it? No, this would be in between Tarnin and Nikki's ships, wouldn't it?
No, I was thinking that Tarnin and Nikki would take the same shift, then wake Grelda, and then let Sanishi have... Since Tarnin and Nikki had a... I'll take it. No, I'll take it. Okay, you can take it. No, fine, we'll both take it.
On it. Can I agree? All right, cool. All right, let's... She seemed like she was sleeping really well from what I could tell.
Almost as if she had some great stress or some...
She had expended a lot of energy the previous day.
Yes, taken out.
A proverbial load lifted.
Somewhat envious.
I don't know, it seems like maybe... Did she get a new handle for Sasha? It seems lighter.
No idea. Is that a thing?
It's...
The dwarves like to replace the handles on their weapons often?
Why wouldn't they? They're very meticulous creatures. They like to keep things well kept. I imagine if the handle was becoming worn and cumbersome, they might change it for one that was more streamlined.
I had not considered that. Usually, I mean, he pulls out the daggers he's had. I've kept the same handle on this since I've got it.
Well, they clearly don't trim their beards, so maybe they trim their weapons.
I admit, I don't know enough about dwarves to comment. It's quite possible.
I do, but I'm asleep, so I can't.
I think changing the handle is going to be a new euphemism.
Definitely, at least for this group.
Yep.
When's the last time you changed your handle?
When
'Cause
it-
you're getting a little grumpy.
Were you change? Did you change the handle last night?
Like you're looking pretty refreshed today. Did you,
Did you change the handle?
Yes, I had help. Thanks.
Was it two-hander?
Yeah. Did you change your own handle? Did somebody else help you?
No, I had professional help.
I had to take it. I had to take it somewhere and pay to get it changed.
Yeah. Anyway,
Yeah, we should stretch this a little bit because Jill's in the bathroom.
Sometimes you know your weapon better than anyone else, and so you're really the only person qualified to change the handle.
change your handle. That's fair. That's fair.
Sometimes all was a good whetstone.
That would be for sharpening your blade, by the way. I'm not sure how a whetstone would help you change it. Okay.
Like, I know what it's for.
This euphemism was already stretched. You just took it a little, stretched it a little further. I guess we've been playing for an hour, so if everybody wants to take 5, I'll get another beer.
Well, I could also use another beer, but Jill's back now.
Yeah, I'm totally. I mean, I've just kind of been.
If only we had some all-powerful DM that would just tell us whether we're taking a break or continuing on.
Or you could
Yeah.
have a team player DM who offers a break if you guys would like it.
Oh, look at that. He's even a dick about being a nice guy.
I know, right? It's ridiculous. You work with this guy?
I know, right? Can you imagine?
Nobody should have to suffer through that.
I think he was mad at me the other day. He offered me a job.
I hate you so much. I'm going to try and work with you.
Was this a job about changing the handle on a weapon? perhaps?
No. This was not a handle changing job. No.
Something about a whetstone. I don't know.
No.
Okay, so Tarn and Nikki wake up.
The Grelda. Sasha,
can I
you
ask
yeah,
about
Sasha,
how
you
this waking up happens?
just kick her.
And
It's how dwarves do it, right? Just quiet.
Icky nudges Sasha to wake Sasha up as well.
That's kind of
Very
what we're trying
gently. Very gently.
Don't touch the dwarf. Just touch the axe. She'll wake up.
Sasha.
Yeah, did Grelda actually get kicked as part of this or no? Okay, Grelda does not wake up when Sasha is nudged. Unless, Sean, should we have a side conversation about my psychic?
Your psychic connection to Sasha. Oh
Yeah.
wait, we weren't supposed to. It depends. Are you holding Sasha, or is Sasha laying against a tree or something?
Sasha would be properly oiled, cleaned, sharpened in whatever safe area she needs to be. I do not believe Grelda would sleep with Sasha. That does not seem like a good use of a tool.
Then yes, nudging Sasha would not wake Grelda up.
Warrior didn't sleep with their weapon. God.
Yeah, the innuendos are gonna just be flying
Apparently.
fast and hard, you guys. Like, there's no way around it.
Perfect choice of words. Good job.
Okay,
Alright,
I guess
so-
I'll take. Icky gently nudges Grelda to wake her up.
I'm just gonna say, it's gonna gently lay a claw on her shoulder and give us a shake.
She does a wake and wakes up.
Thanks.
Oh, Grelda, it's your time for a watch. It's your turn for a watch.
Am I also waking up Sanishi? I can't remember if you said that she and I would go at the same time.
No, she's third. She's third.
All right. Then I get up, nod to both of you, like kind of wait to see if there's anything to report. Sounds
All's
like
well.
no. So She does take her book and a pen, and she her day of talking about beer has really fired up her imagination. So she's going to spend her watch not only watching and paying attention, but also jotting down ideas.
All right. Would you like to roleplay anything with Sasha? No. Okay. Is there any conversations you would like to have with Sasha while it's just the two of
Changing
you?
your handle, perhaps.
Yeah, I was going to say, Sasha, do you like that handle? Do you need a new one?
Did you enjoy the
Perhaps
changing
something-
last night?
Yes.
All right. So
What's the sexual euphemism?
you missed it. I'll send you the video clip of our new sexual euphemism for this group. Just like how gnomes now sprout up out of the ground, out of mushrooms.
With a bourbon bowl.
Because of that conversation. Became canon. Alright, so Grelda has no issues throughout the evening.
Okay, she almost misses the time when she's supposed to stop her watch, but she does notice, puts her book aside, and gently nudges Sinishi with a stick from a distance. Like it's not a poke, it's not stabbing, it's definitely just, if you wake up angry, I don't want to be nearby kind of situation.
She throws a stick at you, is what she said.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of what I'm picking it up here.
That is not what she does. I said
No, I
gently
totally
nudge.
see it. She throws a stick at you. Hey. Throws another one. Hey.
Just kind of startle awake and like, why'd you poke me with a stick?
It's your turn to go on watch. It would not have hurt. Gently nudge. Did nobody know what that means?
That's an issue.
Sinishi is a delicate flower who cannot
Yes.
handle a stick.
On occasion, you know what? When she's being woken up, I getting poked with a stick, even gently. Yes.
Gently nudged. I'm not talking like a knife.
Have you been woken up by being nudged with a stick? I have in real life. It's unpleasant.
Well, then whoever did it was not being very nice to you.
Bad, Nate. Bad.
I did not think nightly watch shift change would be our new bridge, but apparently it is.
Apparently
You
so.
brought them
I'm
upon
just
yourself.
saying,
You were
Grilda
ready
was
to be
not
upset.
being mean. She is a very strong character. She could have chosen to be mean and was not doing so.
There's also an element of the mindset that Sinishi has been in and her recent thoughts here. But you don't necessarily know that.
I do not know.
So, ow! Oh, why did she poke me with the stick?
In case you woke up angry?
Time for my shift?
Time for your shift.
Anything happen?
Nope.
Alright. Sinishi kind of slumps, sits for her shift. For normal sharpening and sharpening shining and accents.
When you talk real low like that, we actually can't hear you very well. Like, I can tell that you're speaking, but I can't hear your individual words. Just so you know.
That's what I was saying. Shit, what the fuck did I say, Nate?
You're talking about sharpen. I think you said something about sharpening your axes.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you were just like,
it's-
okay.
Oh,
Just kind of,
okay.
you like
And then
slumped
just
in place.
Kind of slumped and just kind of go to sharpening my axes and, doing my normal watch thing. You two could break it off.
All right, then Sinishi's watch also goes off without a hitch, and the night comes to an end. Everybody wakes up. And you continue on your journey.
Huzzah!
Anything else? Any other conversations want to happen this morning prior to arrival in Magnamar? The dice. Or no, that's the
Nope.
coin.
Nope.
Nope.
That's the coin. But the coin says, nope, not this time.
All right. All right, now I am going to say, before we get to Magnamar, we'll take 5. We go to the bathroom, get another drink. And then we will pick up at the arrival in Magnamar.
Back soon.
All right.
Okay.
Okay, on that note.
Oh,
Mick, Mick,
great timing.
Mick, Mick, Mick,
I
Mick.
forgot it. Mine
Yep,
was
yep, yep.
The
Are
cat
you
is
showing
taunting me.
something?
I am. I'm trying to see if I can zoom in on it. There we go.
Ah,
Yeah. All right. So, all right. As you continue down the Lost Coast Road, you finally come in sight of. What the shit? Sorry, I'm getting an echo, and I think it's mine, and I've got to make it stop. Make it stop.
Also, the music is gone.
Yes, that's because I switched what I was sharing so I could share the handout.
For a second, I thought he was rolling a die, and was going to tell us whether or not we had gone the right way on the Lost Coast Road.
Ah, you went the wrong way.
Crest the hill and come to Wardle.
You're back at Sandpoint. No, Gerda wasn't in the lead, so we're probably good.
wait, who was in the lead?
Icky.
Nobody.
We're just a mob at this point.
Yeah.
Well, I'm pretty sure Icky would have been in the lead at this point.
Yep, Icky was absolutely in the lead at this point.
Mother, just took you
All
up.
right.
How about-
All right. So as you come into sight of Magnamar, you see Magnamar's sprawling slate rooftops and marble avenues, stretching from where you see a sheer cliff, which is the sea clef. It runs through the city's heart, dividing it into two major sections: the summit, which is on the cliff's top, and the shore, which is below. But all of that, yes.
We see the big map.
Yeah, I took it off.
Okay, I'm sorry.
No, that's okay.
Fine.
Well, here, let me
Sorry, carry on.
let me put it back. There you go. There you go. So yes, there you go. Zoom in on that. So the summit is on top and the shore is down below. But what really dominates your view, even from miles off on the Lost Coast Road, is the foundations of the Irespan. It's a ruined stone bridge of almost impossible size that rises easily 300 feet above the lower part of Magnamar. Kind of runs out into the ocean and then just stops. It's something that you've all heard about from your time in Varisia. It's left over from the ancient Thessalonian Empire, and just the sheer size of this, the part of this bridge in general, tells you of their power. It juts from a prominent foundation upon the sea clef, known as the Giant's Bridge, and is sometimes called, and it soars more than 300 feet above the city below and goes 500 or 600 feet out into the ocean before it abruptly stops. Oops. And get rid of that. Get the music back going. And as you come up to Magnamar, you see that it is a city that is set against the ocean, and it is surrounded by a large wall. Let me get the city map for you.
Yay, a map.
There we go.
Hey, Sean, can I ask you a question before you continue?
Yes.
You mentioned the Thessalonian Empire.
Yes.
Grelda is not going to ask these questions, but Tammy is. We saw a statue of Kurzog. He had
Yes.
a book and a wand, and he was of the Thessalonian Empire. But then I have a note below it saying Zinshalast, this legendary city in the mountains, the lost city of gold.
Yes.
That is not the same here. Like, those are different cities, right?
No, those are different cities. This the city of Magnamar isn't ancient, just the Irespan, the bridge portion of it,
Okay.
is left over as one of the many leftover Thessalonian ruins of ancient times. It'd be like if you go and see like the pyramids or the Parthenon. Like, these are well-known ancient ruins.
The sort of ghostly vision that we saw of that king that was sort of on repeat, was he from Zinshalast or Thessalonian?
You knew he was Thessalonian.
Thessalonian. And then I would like to, the player, remind Tarnan, because I think he would remember, that we were invited to Magnamar by... My notes are not in a good order.
The guy we just killed.
No, Auric, the human warrior who he and I did the barrel row out of the fire.
Yes.
He said to meet us at All the Way In, which is a brothel in Magnamar.
Sean, is Tarnan familiar with that one?
You have heard of it because it has been around for a few decades. I would not say you have been to it, but you are familiar with the fact that it exists, and you have a vague idea of where it might be.
Where? Okay, vaguely, where is it then?
You would know that it is in the Low Cleft district.
Oh wow. Okay. Halfway home from where we are at.
And then Justice Ironbriar is the one we're going to see.
That is who Sergeant Armstrong Hall had mentioned you wanting to see.
And then is the Iron Ring in this city? Or
You would
just
not.
the Brotherhood of the Seven?
The what?
The Brotherhood of the Seven? Those are definitely Magnamar, because I put a note Magnamar next to it.
No.
But I didn't know if the Iron Ring. The good neighbors talked about the Iron Ring, I feel.
Yes.
Because those notes are in the same pencil next to each other.
Yes. The good neighbors mentioned that they used to be a spoke of the Iron Ring, like they used to be a member of the Iron Ring and separated from it. Say like just general knowledge. Tarnid would know that the Iron Ring has a presence. I wouldn't say it is a major force. The Iron Ring focuses more in Curvosa area.
Okay.
But they do have operatives, a presence.
Then the last notes I have before I allow you to continue your wonderful tour of this new city for us is shitty news is shitty news.
As they say.
And is the juice worth the squeeze? Past me left copious notes that of moderate usefulness.
Conversation with Fenton is very important. Alright, so as you come down the Lost Coast Road, the entrance that it actually takes you to is going into the Neos district. You see that there are, separated by a couple hundred feet, it would be, can you see my mouse? No? Can you see the pink?
Yes.
Alright, that's where you would come in. You would see that separated by a couple hundred feet, there seems to be one opening that people are going in and another people are coming out that seems to be separated. Along the road, you notice a smattering of people. There doesn't seem to be there's not a large group moving at the same time. But you see a smattering of people coming in, a smattering going out. Just general city life. It would be about, wake up, I would say about 10, 11 by the time you get here.
Just to be certain, the road above that is called the Lost Coast Road on the map.
Yes.
So we came in on the lower one, even though it's not labeled such.
Yes. If you see down here, Lost Coast Road branches out.
Okay.
So this is where you would have been kind of directed to go.
To go to meet with Justice Breyer?
No, just in general entrance to the city.
Right, in general entrance, but where would Tarnan choose to go if he's trying to find Justice Breyer? Or if he's trying to lead them to the brothel?
If he's trying...
That sounded wrong.
If he is trying to lead them to the brothel, he would probably take the... if you're going straight to the brothel, you would take the south road, that entrance that enters between Keystone and Low Cleft, which is right here.
Yep.
I can tell you that Tarnid would know that is. No, if that's where you wanted to go, that would be another entrance as well.
And if I was looking for Justice Prior, it would be up north.
You would go in through Naos because you would have a you would have a general idea that the halls of justice are in the capital district, and Naos would be the quickest route.
Oh, come on, Nate. Right there is perfect voiceover. Meanwhile, in the halls of justice.
Meanwhile, in the halls of justice.
Guilty! Hang him!
Wonder Twin powers activate. No.
Okay, so
Come on, Sean,
where would Tarnin lead them?
Whores or justice? Justice it is.
Whores?
Why not whore justice?
The best kind of justice?
Justice for sex workers everywhere.
Yeah, I think I would. Turnin opens up his mouth like a half mile out and says, "Okay, so are we heading towards Tammy? What was that name again? The guy that invited us to meet him."
You're muted, Tammy.
Auric, he's the vacuum cleaner man.
Thank you.
I hate you guys so much sometimes.
Oh, that's beautiful. Now I will not forget. Good job, Tammy. So are we heading towards where Auric invited us? Or do you guys want to head right to the Justice? Ironbriar. Preference, Icky?
I feel like Ironbriar is going to have better information for us. More relevant information.
I mean, not to.
Spit it
I
out,
think
Sanishi. What you got?
Well, there is a lot to say for what the common folk here. They get a lot of information that the officials might not. That's one of the reasons why you make friends with the common people, as in before you invade. You get better information, better intel that way.
Well, how do we know that this guy is going to even know anything about the folks that we're after?
Honestly, we don't. So it's just a matter of which one do you want to start with.
Yeah.
If Ironbriar lies to us, we can always find out more from the other.
I intend to track down both, but where do you want to start?
The horrors here that is there a possibility if the underbelly hears that we go to officials first that they will not talk to us?
Based on my dealings in the past, there are several different groups. Each one of the little, I guess, subsections of the city are going to have their own criminal elements. The overall ones that we need to watch out for are the Night Scales. They see themselves as basically running the town, or at least the underbelly of the town. I have a possibility of touching base with somebody in the Creepers. There's an old friend of mine in the Tower Girls. I could probably talk to her, see what happens. I don't know. It's been a while. I kind of made myself scarce for reasons. And I don't trust the government here nearly as much as I trust our friendly sheriff and mayor back in Sandpoint. They are more than willing to accept a bribe here. You know, at one point I was very happy about that, but now looking at it from a different perspective, I don't know whether that's a good thing or bad thing. If we're going there and we're trying to find information, we feel they're lying to us, and we offer them a gift, maybe we get more information. Maybe we get tossed out.
Then we would need more information before we went there.
True, which is why I'm asking, do we go talk to some of the common folk first? Because much like Sanishi said, sometimes they're a little more blunt and not trying to find a way to make advantage of you, make use of your service. You know what I mean?
Sounds like a good enough plan to me.
Okay. Let's start there, and if we strike out entirely, well, then we can always hit Justice Ironbriar about the same time the sergeant catches up, yeah?
Sounds good to me.
Okay. Tarna starts leading them towards, was there a name Oric gave us? What was it again?
All the way in.
Yeah, that one.
All right, then as you come in, instead of going north, you go south. You see...
All the way in?
What was that? Not all the way in
Sorry,
yet, just the tip.
Yeah, I couldn't help it.
Just the tip.
No,
as you
all the
take
way in.
as you take the road south, you see an opening, a large gate opening, which opens into a large courtyard. And you see on the other side of the courtyard there is a second set of a portcullis that pulls up, wooden gate that opens, and you see seven soldiers of the Crown's Guard talking to people as they enter and as they leave. Again, there's a trickle coming in now. It doesn't seem like a refugee flood either way, but you see there's a couple people ahead of you, and you see they stop them. There happens to be a conversation, then they go along, and they're doing the same thing to everybody who's coming out. So as you approach on your horse, one of the Crown's Guard just waves you down and waves you over to the side. All of you in horse. Yeah, come. And as he kind of walks up to you, he's got 3 or 4 Crown's Guard behind him that follow him. He looks you over. Oh, well, what's your business in Magnamar today?
Come to say hi to a few friends, spend some time here.
And then he turns behind him and he goes, Fendrick! And then he just kind of waves him off, and one of the guards turns and starts walking off. Have you been to Magnamar before? First time?
It's been a
Repeat
while.
visitor?
Well, I've been here before. A couple of these guys are new.
And keeps looking you all over. So, where in this city are you headed to? And he turns around, looks behind him, looks back.
I name a fairly reputable inn near all the way in.
Do those exist, Sean?
Fairly reputable inns near all the way inns? There's a regular inn near that. There are a few in that general vicinity. And he looks
And
at
I'll
you.
say that's our first stop.
All right. How long are you planning on staying in Magnamar?
Right now, a couple of days. I don't know. Things could change. We're not in a hurry to get out of here, but you know.
All right. He kind of takes a couple of steps back. I'm gonna need you to just wait here for a few minutes, if you wouldn't mind, before you enter.
Sure. Is this normal, Sean? Is this normal for?
You notice that there seems to be more city guards than normal, and they seem to be more nervous and on alert than you are normally used to. Then he takes a couple steps back, crosses his arms, looks behind him, and as he looks behind him, you see the other 3 Crown's Guard that were watching begin to walk towards you. And as they do, he kind of looks at everybody. All right. And they all lift up their crossbows and point them at you. All right. You're all under arrest. Stay right there. No movements. Any magic will be used. Any magic used will be met by deadly force. And then he keeps looking. Where is that bastard? Don't move. And then about a minute passes as they all have their crossbows leveled at you, and you see the Crownsguard that he had sent off previously come back running, and behind him you see a Crownsguard, but he's wearing white cloak over his armor with a little bit of red signets on it. And Tarnan, you would know that this would be an officer in the Crownsguard, a lieutenant. He comes running up. He's kind of out of breath, and he goes, "What in the hell did you call me here for?" And then the sergeant brings him over and points at Sanishi and goes, "Sir, right there." And as he points, all of your heads turn and you see the shitty Sahedron medallion that Sanishi is currently wearing. And he goes, "That's why I called you sir." And the guy looks at you, looks at the medallion, looks all of you over. Ah, 9 L's. Sergeant, I commend you for your bravery and for your perception, but I really don't think that these are who we're looking for. And the sergeant kind of starts to huff. Yes.
Tarnan literally raises his hand and says, "Looking for what?"
Sergeant, let them go. I'm sorry for the confusion. I apologize. Everybody here is a bit on edge, and I hope you weren't unduly troubled, but the city guards have certain orders they have to obey. And the good sergeant here was just doing as he was instructed.
Okay.
I won this necklace in the spoils of battle. Will it cause issues if I continue to display it?
I would not have that showing when you get into town.
Are there
put
any
it
other
that way.
trophies we should not display?
Only if you've got more of those hanging around.
Not that I know of.
And some belt pouches.
Just be careful, and especially with that. Just
Take it
Fair
off,
enough.
put it.
keep your eyes peeled.
I really wish Grelda was a little bit like sneakier, because she could have totally like been on Tarnan's side there. Is this not a safe city? And tried to like get more information, but that's just not gonna happen. I'm sorry, Tarnan. Grelda has failed.
No worries.
So then the lieutenant begins to walk off, and the sergeant kind of follows him, and you can't hear what they're saying, but you hear a very hushed conversation. The sergeant is obviously not happy, but all the Crownsguard kind of stand down and wave you in.
All right.
Thank you for
Grelda
your-
mutters to herself, they could have at least bought us a beer.
I take a completely different approach, and I thank each of them for their vigilance. And out of my spoils, I give like the ones around, like a copper or something. Copper would be.
Do I
helpful.
see her reaching for her belt? Do I see her reaching for her coin belt?
I would
if
say so.
do,
I don't think she's being subtle about it.
Yeah,
I-
no.
stop her and I say, "Oh no, you can pay me back later. I'll explain further on. It's fine."
Oh, okay. Okay.
Very good. Let's carry on. Let these gentlemen continue their fine work.
All right.
Well, again, thank you, sirs, for doing your job.
They just kind of look at you over. They keep their eyes on Sanishi as you ride into town, but they don't raise their weapons or begin any more conversations with you.
basically like 180 from the attitude I was giving the guardsmen at,
in Sandpoint.
Yeah.
All right. So as you enter in the town, it is a busy town. It is a bustling town, as Tarnan is well aware. It does take you on horseback probably a good half hour to wind your way to the inn you're looking for. And
Ripe with opportunity.
What was that?
Said, ripe with opportunity again.
As you follow Tarnan, he pulls up to kind of with the front of it, and you see hanging on the outside, it says there's a sign that says all the way in, and it has an open door, and you see the body of a man about halfway into the door.
Just question for Tarnan here. Would we go to the inn you told the guards we were going to? It is still like the morning. I don't know how many. I mean, maybe it's a really popular brothel, but
Oh
I didn't know
no,
if-
they got somebody on duty all the time.
all right, fair enough. Fair enough.
I mean,
It's
all the time. It's ridiculous. So let's go ask. We'll go to all the way in and walk on in.
All right. Push the doors open. You see a very small bar area with 2 or 3 round tables, and the rest of it, it looks like it wasn't originally a wall, but you can see a large wall with a small opening in it, as though there were rooms added after the place was constructed. And there is 2 people sitting at the bar, both of them kind of leaning over the bar together on the far end. They both turn and look at you as you walk in, and there is a bartender behind the bar, a man probably in his mid-20s, very long, flowing black hair, just some waves to it. Down here, he is dressed in red, velvety clothes, a long coat that is open, a white undershirt open down to about his chest, showing some very thick and curly chest hair with a small medallion, like a small golden medallion sitting in the middle of it. He's got a red headband around his head that you can see is tied in a bow on the back. And as he turns and looks at you, you can see some lace gloves about to his mid forearm that end in kind of frilly lace on both sides. And he turns and he walks to you. Oh, hello! We don't usually get new customers in the morning, especially such a large group. What can I do for you today?
I nudge Geralda and go, I think he might be attractive by human standards, but I don't think he'd last very long. Not with me. Not with you either.
He looks at you. Oh, my dear, I could last longer than you have an idea. He goes, and you, we do have 2 very muscular half-orc fellows. If you have any particular needs you need attending.
They need to be tall.
Oh, my dear elf, they're half-orcs. They are very tall.
No, really tall.
I can accommodate any standards.
Compared to you, any half-orc is really tall.
Are we seriously buying Sanishi a whore right now? Like, is
It
that what's
seems
happening?
like that's what you're
So
going towards.
confused.
Well, you guys are assuming I want a whore for sex. My mind is going much more towards battle.
No, we're just
no.
My
dear.
dear,
I mean,
companionship
isn't that
can
what sex
come in
is for
any
orcs?
form. If you would like somebody to just speak with you, if you would like a massage, if you would like to be read to, companionship can come in any form you desire, and I can give that to you if you just speak it.
Have you seen Orc lately?
He just said he has
An orc?
No. Oric. He's a man. I believe he's human, correct, Sean?
Yes, he was human.
Yes, yes.
Human male. Tarny gives a quick description. Said he might be around, but I haven't checked in with him for a week or two.
I will say it has. Yeah, it's probably been about a week since Thistletop, right about there. Well, I do know a couple of men who would fit that general description who come in here fairly often. Although I will say they don't usually come in the morning. Well, they're not here in the morning. We'll put it that way.
Fair.
She has the giggles.
But I suppose if you're looking for them, you can try coming back in the evening, sometime around there. Or you could just stay here, and I could let you know when they come. I'm sure we can find ways to occupy your time.
I'm sure you can. I wonder, would you recommend a good breakfast here, or would you go elsewhere?
So I guess that depends on what you hunger for.
Actual sustenance.
Oh, people can survive off of many different things.
If this
But-
man knew what a pain in the breakfast we are, he would definitely send us away.
But if you are looking for actual food, I do suppose this is not the place for you right now. Go eat, get your strength, and then come back.
Very well. Do you have a recommendation?
Well, it depends on what you are wanting to eat. I would say there are two choices. You could go to the Cambion Cafe, which is a couple of blocks down. They have normal food, sausages and meat and eggs and those kinds of things. Or if you have a bit of a sweet tooth, you could go to the Hot Buns Bakery, which is just around the corner.
Sausage and buns. Where's your mind?
He said you wanted food.
Fair. What do you think? Shall we take him with us? Invite him along, buy him some breakfast, and see if he can tell us a few things about the town?
I don't know if you can afford me, darling. But I must stay here and oversee. Somebody has to keep everybody in order.
Oh, that's a shame. But have it your way.
Where would Oric normally go for breakfast? Do you know? Do you know his?
Of the couple of people, I don't keep track of them when they're out there. I attend to their needs when they're in here.
When they're in here, what are who are well? No, excuse me. I don't want to know those details. Who would you like to visit?
Well, it depends on which of them you are looking for. One has a very specific preference and sees the same individual nightly. The other has varied tastes. But I am not at liberty to discuss the exact purchase history.
What do you mean, which Oric?
What was that?
What do you mean, which Oric?
Which
Oh, I
one?
mean-
Which, because I said he told you that they recommend, or that they the description matched a couple of different people.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I mean, there's several models of Oric. I mean, it's like an entire company. They got like... Anyway. Thanks, Tammy.
I am just gonna slap random consonants and vowels together for names from now on.
I will ruin those too, Sean.
Oh.
I will ruin those too.
Oh my works, you have no idea.
If you,
Because you didn't see the macaroni man coming.
yes, I also didn't see evil water or anger water coming either. But
I still
So-
can't believe we can sell the anger water.
so if you're looking for somebody in particular, I can take a little note and I can hand it to him when he comes in. Maybe if it's the person you're looking for, he can wait for you here.
That would be most appreciated.
I am here to make my customers happy. He pulls out a small piece of parchment, quill, lays it down, pushes it towards you, and then stops. But of course, the counter space to hold this note is not free.
And how much would it cost for that counter space to hold the notes?
I can hold it for the rest of the day for, say, 4 silver. And since your description matches 2 people, you would need to write 2 notes. I don't want to give it to the first person and have it not be who you're looking for. That would be terrible.
It would be terrible.
It would.
And with that thought, perhaps we should simply just come back. We wouldn't clutter up your counter space with so many notes.
That's fine, but I cannot be held responsible for when this mystery man does or does not show up and does or does not depart.
Captain, I'm not feeling terribly hungry. I could just hang out here in the lobby, pull out one of my hand axes and a sharpening stone. I've always got plenty to do.
If you would like to.
Well, if you do want help sharpening that axe, I'm sure we could find somebody here to help you with that whetstone.
Oh, I don't need any help, sir. I'd just be sitting here waiting for,
Orc.
one orc.
I can definitely rent you a chair in our galley for a day.
Or if you would stand at the door.
If you're not going to be purchasing anything, then I'm going to have to ask you to stand outside.
I would be just fine standing outside your door.
Oh, it might be intimidating to have a
what?
burly half-orc such as yourself standing directly outside the door. I would not want to intimidate any of our clientele.
How could I?
Do you mean to insult her?
I mean to say that she is an intimidating figure standing there, and she might scare away our customers, and we simply can't have that.
Well, that would be awful, but I don't see what other option you leave me, given you want to charge me to sit within your establishment. You want me outside your establishment. You want to charge us to leave a note for purveyors of your establishment.
If you would like to sit somewhere for free, I'm sure you can walk down to the Magnamarian Library.
Oh, well, thank you, but no, I prefer in front of your shop.
You seem like relatively new people to Magnamar. I would tell you that I am trying to be considerate. If there are problems, there are different ways that we can solve this, none of which I believe that new people in the city would be happy about, but don't let me tell you how you would like to act.
I, too, am just simply trying to solve a problem. We are trying to get in touch with somebody we know is going to be here. You are not being particularly helpful.
Well, you are not paying particularly much in my establishment, so...
Grelda has been listening for a while, and she's waiting, and Tarnin's not seeming... But there is a point where she's just like, okay... She does step forward before he can get his feathers ruffled anymore. And she says, it makes sense that if we want someone to do us a favor, that they can charge us for it, a small amount. I think that's perfectly reasonable.
No. No, this is actually really good. Look at Sinishi grow. How dare you stomp on her toes?
All right, I will say, as the DM, I will remind Tarnin that he would know... between the Crown's Guard and the gangs that protect these streets.
Shinichi has done nothing wrong yet.
Yeah, no, I'm just making sure you know. Yeah.
Oh yeah, Tarnin's actually enjoying the hell out of this.
Okay.
All right, well, Grelda would... I mean, this is not her territory, so she would back off. But she did still say that. That still happened, so the person behind the counter would know.
Well, I suppose an alternative would be we could leave 2 notes for the 4 silver.
Meh.
As
We
mentioned,
could take our business elsewhere.
If you want to find another establishment to enjoy yourselves at, it does pain me to see people go away unfulfilled, but what you must,
Well,
what you must.
Based off our relatively simple request, and you knowing that we were intending to come back, you've already chased us off. Enjoy your day, sir. Tarnan walks out.
follow up.
Inky shrugs and goes too.
Grelda hangs back briefly and asks him just really quickly, how much would a really good deep tissue massage cost?
I'm like, really good? 60 minutes? Well, there's less of you to massage than many others. I would say I'm gold for 60 minutes. And I promise you, 1 gold for 60 minutes, and I promise you, you'll come back.
She gives him a wink and walks away. Like,
Oh,
I'm not promising that she will, but not promising she won't. Okay.
size motherfucker.
So,
Oh, and
Outside.
Sean, what was the name of the first place that you recommended other than the Hot Buns Bakery?
It was...
the Cambion Cafe.
Yes, thank you.
I'm sorry, what was it?
The Gambian Cafe.
Thank you.
Cambion with a G.
Cambion.
Good.
C-A-B... C-A-M-B-I-O-N. Cambion.
Okay, thank you.
So, outside of the establishment, Icky goes over to Tarnas. It's like, so, what kind of a waste of time was that? Why did we come here if we're not going to try to get information?
It was kind of waste of time where he's pulling our chain. He's already treating us like we don't belong here. He's basically taking advantage of us. No one pays 4 silver to put a piece of paper on a table. If he had said a silver or a copper, which would have been more appropriate, I would gladly have paid it. But what he's asking is asinine. Not going to happen. Thank you, Sinishi, by the way, Tarnan says, turning to her, by recognizing it and damn near putting him in his place. Excellently done. If he doesn't want our establishment, if this establishment, doesn't want our business or our potential business, screw them. This town has hundreds of places to go to. There will be information somewhere. And if he's going to jerk our chain and we're going to basically be putting there with our handle in hand, we can go somewhere else.
Who would want to bed a half orc working at a brothel? Their hands must be so
Soft.
soft.
Totally understand that.
Muscles so
Weak?
fake. Right. Yeah.
Now, try to take that image out of your head before you lose any appetite. Clearly,
I'm not kidding when I said I wasn't hungry. That was real. I can stand here and fight. I really was not.
his overt little comment suggested he was about to call the guards on us because we weren't willing to drop all kinds of coin to leave paper on a frickin' counter for someone who asked us to show up sooner or later. This establishment does not deserve any of our coin. We can show up later and look for Auric. And if we don't find Auric, does it really matter? That was an option. We can go see the justice now if you prefer.
The justice is probably in. It's working hours, right?
Well, depending on the justice, more or less.
That's a human city thing, right? Business hours.
It is, yeah. It's definitely a human city thing.
Bad.
Geralda has misgivings, but she's been following Tarnin thus far, so she's not going to. And she just did not miss that she was put in her place for having stepped in because of how strong the appraise of what Sinishi was doing. So she's listening, she's quiet, she's following. But
does Tarnin pick that up at all? Is there something he would pick up on?
It depends on if you were listening or not. Is she? This is different than the Tarnin that she has ever seen before. So she's noticing that Tarnin's being weird, and then also probably thinking back to his past behavior.
Captain's captain.
Until you get him in this town.
Still captain as far as I'm concerned.
Fair.
Sinishi, fuck.
Sinishi everywhere. There's no this town, that town, another town.
Well, if your appetite is destroyed, I say we go meander towards the
Justice. Oh, there's more than me here, though. What about you? What about everyone else?
Is anyone else actually hungry? I don't think. I think only Icky's only hunger towards getting this over with or finding some lead, which I hate to say is probably not going to happen instantly in a town this size. We're going to have to root it out, and it may take a day or two.
Or we could talk to the direct lead that we do have.
Which direct lead is that? The Justice?
Yeah, the Justice.
Well, that's kind of what we're talking about now. Do we go to the
Yeah,
Justice?
Ironbriar. Justice Ironbriar. We can head there now. I thought we would start here.
If Ironbriar can tell us where the Foxglove house here is,
we could find that. Yeah, we could find that asking some of the guards. We can find that. But what is your intention once we know its location? You simply want to storm the gate and draw claws?
Why not?
Claws, not draw claws.
Thank you, Sinishi. That's a good point. Claws or not, in Sandpoint, we can get away with that kind of behavior. Here, we're going to have all manner of disparate groups deciding whether they want to step in and why. The Crown's Guard to supposedly keep the peace. The Night Scales to get a piece of the action. Different.
It really sounds like a good move then, separating ourselves from the sergeant who could have introduced us.
We haven't done anything other than come here early to look on our own ideas. We can easily go meet him coming into the gate if that's what you prefer. We can also go directly to the Justice if that is what you prefer. But again, my misgivings are putting a lot of faith in a justice we know nothing about versus simply taking what we can from what's available and word of mouth, common people. We can still find this location, Icky. If you are impatient and we need to find it right now, then let's just go ask a guard.
Well, we don't need just... My concern is if we're, like, the idea of spending days looking for leads here when we have a connection to a good possible lead on their way here shortly behind us in the way of that sergeant. So let's poke around the city and see what we can find until he gets here. But once he's here, if we haven't found anything, I think that we should go and see what we can find from him.
Stormy, okay, if what our goal is to get into this house, and doing a frontal assault will be bad because of multiple groups of people who we probably won't all be able to find and pacify and or get on our side, then doesn't that make our best course of action to be to get into the house through something other than a frontal attack, such as a servant's door. So shouldn't we be asking around for where their servants like to hang out so we can get buddy-buddy with servants and figure out how they get in and out, because that can be our route in and out.
Tarnan leans over to Geisen. Who's this criminal mastermind and where did you find her?
I'm just putting the parts together. You guys had all the pieces. Aren't
Fair.
these just lines? These are just the battle lines.
Look,
I could be wrong. I'm just
No.
I'm sorry.
Sinishi, you may have a very valid point. Icky, I apologize. I'm somewhat compromised by how I feel about this town. What is it that your overall goal is, other than finding the Brotherhood of the Seven? Once you know, I mean, we can go to this building, we can go to where the Foxglove Manor is, and we can knock on the front door. But once you knock on that front door and someone answers and says, "Who the hell are you?" What's your intention?
Claw them until they tell us, until they give us answers. Just
So you want to do that in the middle of day, in broad daylight, where we will have city guards or all manner of others attracted to such? That's not going to get you your answers, brother. That's going to cause us issues. We need to, as hard as it's going to be, find a plan and be patient and make it happen.
Okay, guys, let's go to breakfast and figure out what our actual goals are so that we can figure out how we need to achieve them. Because I feel like we have issues with that right now. I could be wrong.
We're here earlier than we intended to be. I've got absolutely no issue and completely agree with, once the sergeant is here, we should have him introduce us to the justice. Fantastic. Until that time, which is, Sean, what's my best guess on how long before that happens?
Originally they were going to be about a day behind you because you guys left
Yep.
late morning, and they had said they were going to leave the following early morning. So your best guess is they'll be here sometime tomorrow morning, fairly early.
That gives us the...
Coming.
What was that?
How many guards are coming?
There was... What was it? I think it was 12? Let me see. I think I wrote it down. How many ended up
That sounds
going?
familiar to me.
18 altogether, to include
Okay,
the
so-
sergeant at arms.
Okay, so they wouldn't be significantly slower than we were.
No, and they'd have wagons, so they could travel at a decent pace. But yeah, I would say sometime tomorrow morning.
I'm pretty confident in which gate they're going to come through, especially if they're going to look for either us or the justice. For that matter, returning back, they're going to go through this main gate. I can't ping the map, but bing, there it is. Or not. And we can meet them there tomorrow morning, which gives us time to try to find Oric, get information. If that doesn't work, okay, we can ask the other guards. We can go case the place out, find out where it is, look at different points. And to Sinishi's credit, she makes a valid point. We could perhaps find the comings and goings of the servants and ask them about certain things. I know patience is not something that you want to claw.
all right. Well, let's get on to the next lead around here then.
If you can convince me, not even convince me, if you can come up, just simply tell me some other course of action, I'll follow it. But if you don't have another course of action, I am not letting you get thrown in jail just because you are desperate to find information.
I just want to make sure we're not spending days like trying to find some loose lead that may not even exist while ignoring the one in front of our face. But if we're going to meet up with the Sergeant at Arms at some point tomorrow if he gets into town, then all right, let's spend the next day doing whatever you feel is going to be most productive.
Getting our footing, finding this manor, checking out what we can find out. Who knows? Maybe we'll find a few more leads or a few other options. For one thing, why are the guards so dang jumpy about that same 7-pointed star that we're very familiar with?
Why did this figure out?
Because if it ties in,
so quick, out of character, are we not aware that murders very similar to what we saw in Sandpoint involving the 7-pointed star have been awarded here in Magnamar?
You are aware. The Sergeant at Arms had said that they'd been happening.
All of us why they're jumpy about that symbol, right? Okay. Most of us.
It was all over that house, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And carved into dude's chest.
all right.
All right. So anyway, yeah, like
Cambion or sweet rolls? Cambion or sweet buns? Icky, what do you want?
I vote Cambion.
Anyone disagree? Hearing none, here we go.
All right. Is there anything? I should ask. Is there anything particular you want to do, or are you just buying breakfast?
I'm not even buying breakfast so much as I'm going to have a breakfast ale, watered down, whatever. And,
I guess I'm because if you're just gonna go there, eat and hang out, we're not gonna role play it. If you were going to do anything while you're there, we would role play it. Yeah. Ask
questions of the staff if they are familiar with the place, if they can give us the latest gossip.
No, that's fine. You don't. I mean, we can role play it. I just wanted to make sure because I don't want to role play every time you stop in a store if you're not going to do anything. So I just wanted to double check before we started role playing it.
Did DM just say he didn't want to role play? I feel like Sean doesn't want to role play.
I don't like you guys.
I don't think he wants to role play anymore. I don't.
All right, so you walk
Ouch.
in.
My feeling.
All right. So you walk in. You see that there are about 12 tables, and then on the left when you walk in, there is a long counter with behind it, kind of stacked up at an angle. You see various breads and sweet rolls and cinnamon rolls, and you just see various kinds of very fragrant breakfast pastries. And then you see, as you step in, you actually see a tray of meats, sausages, eggs kind of being walked out to one of the tables, being set down, and then come back. And there is a elderly woman behind the counter, and she's standing there. She's not doing anything in particular. She's kind of keeping watch. Oh, hello. Would I interest you in some breakfast?
Sinishi's stomach rumbles audibly, like to cover the noise of the entire crowd.
I think you could eat enough for all of us. There's a table right over there. Why don't you have a seat and I'll have somebody with you?
Thank you, ma'am.
That's all right.
And then she just kind of turns and just taps her finger on the door that leads to the back. And then you see this young boy, 12, 13 years old, kind of peek his head out, look at her, look at you, scuttle over.
Hi, what can I get you?
You have blood sausage.
Yeah.
I like a plate of blood sausage.
Just blood sausage? You want any
Yes.
eggs? You want any bacon? You want any ham?
Ooh, yeah.
What rest do you want?
Uh, Icky will order some bacon and breakfast beer.
Ooh. Breakfast beer. Alright. We don't really serve ale here. You have to go to one of the bars for that. I'm sorry, sir. Okay, coffee? We can do coffee. Like water.
Coffee and a cinnamon roll, please.
Absolutely.
Captain? City does do weird things to you.
Is your
It's
order
all-
done, Nate?
Yeah, mine's yeah.
Okay. Then, Grella, can she smell anything from the pile of rolls and desserts and so forth back there that is a spice she is less familiar with, that might be something that would be particular to this city?
Give me a perception check.
Oh, lovely.
Can I get advantage because it's about beer?
They don't have any beer.
No, I know. This is so that she can make beer with
Oh,
flavors.
I will say no, just because there is a bevy of different scents.
All right. Ooh, 14 plus 3. 17.
All right, you can pick out a scent that you've not smelled before, kind of mixed in with the cinnamon and vanilla. It's it has like a slightly tangy aroma. It's not one you've smelled before, so you don't know what it is, but you can pick out a different scent.
Okay. I describe that aroma to the boy, and if he shows no like understanding of what spice that might be, then I'll ask if I can choose a roll from behind the counter.
No, as you describe it, he looks at you. Yeah, the amcho bread. The cut into slices. You want some?
Yes, please. And can you spell that for me?
A-M...
She asks the boy
Oh.
if he can spell it for her.
A-M... Cho. Bread. Yeah.
Thank you. Yes, 2 please.
Oh, all right. I'll be back. All right. And then you see him. He goes up. He stops. He looks at the old woman. He walks over to her. You hear him whisper to her. And then she just kind of gives him a whack on the shoulder, and he just nods and goes back. It's a few minutes later, and he comes back with 2 large trays, sets them down on a table next to you, starts setting them out, and then he looks at you. He looks at Grelda. He puts his head down. AMCHOOR, ma'am. And then he puts the rest of the food out. If you need anything else, just let us know.
How much is that?
That'll be 5 silver for everything.
Turner covers it.
Right. Thank you. Made.
Grelda takes the first piece of bread, slices the thinnest piece off, lets it open, like wafts it up to her nose, takes that thin little piece, puts it on her tongue, like tastes like she's making a huge to-do that basically anyone in the room might be a little weirded out by. But
So,
apparently not.
No, well, I mean,
No.
this is at least normal.
What's up, Nate?
Icky watches and leans in, just like sniffs the bread, looks at Grelda. Think that'll make a good beer?
Yes. So she cuts a little slice and gives it to Icky so he can taste it.
Icky tastes it and trusts Grelda.
She wraps the second loaf to go, so she only eats the one while she's at the table, or the slice of bread.
Okay.
So as I'm eating my plate, my hopefully heaping fucking plate with blood sausage, look at the captain and go, Oh. Wow. That was seriously overcharging. If this breakfast is 5 silver?
Correct.
I thought that was hope. I overestimated city inflation. Whew. Okay then. Thank you. Also, this is really good. And then I kind of like look over to a table next to me. Tap one of them on the shoulder. Excuse me, sir. There's someone at the table next to me.
Yes. So at the table next to you, there is a middle-aged couple, kind of sitting there having breakfast. The man is the one that's closest to you, so you tap him on the shoulder. Kind of turns. He's got shaggy hair, dark down to about his eyebrows. You can see he's wearing clothes that look all right, but you can see some dirt on. You can see they're a bit dirty, so definitely not upper class. But he's leaning over his plate. And he looks. Yeah.
Give him a friendly smile.
Which must be terrifying.
Yeah, he just kind of looks at you. What can I? Yeah.
I was just wondering if you had, if you were the Feather Branch Mansion. The name of that mansion.
Foxglove?
Foxglove Mansion.
It's really close. It's really close.
Feather glove. What?
Foxglove. Where the Foxglove Mansion was in town.
Kind of looks at the woman. I have no idea what you're talking about.
No worries. Thank you. Thank you.
Yep. Just kind of leans back down, scoots his chair over to the woman a little bit, and just goes back to eating.
I think she was curious if you had any information on. Well, when we came in to town this morning, the guards were kind of up in arms about some happenings in the area. Specifically, some murders. What's that about?
Kind of, as he continues to scoot and looks back up at you. There's been murders, as you said.
Oh, nothing more. No details. No understanding of what's going on.
I don't know what to tell you.
Fair enough.
Maybe, yeah. Just kind of nods his head down and just goes back to eating.
Well, thank you anyway, sir. Thank you for your time and enjoy your breakfast. I know mine is amazing.
Yeah.
Sinishi,
It's good.
Sinishi, can I try a bit of that blood sausage?
Oh yeah, Captain. It's like cut him off like very small piece because I'm apparently fucking starving. Give him like just the tiniest little slice. There you go. It's amazing.
It's definitely bloody.
So as you guys are having this conversation, the couple that was sitting next to you gets up and they end up walking out. And as they walk out, you hear some slight shuffling, and you look over and the old woman has come out from behind the counter and is walking towards you and looks at the couple that just walked out.
I take it you guys haven't been in town very long.
She
No,
kind of
ma'am.
she kind of pats the table.
Let's just say that the unfortunate incidents you mentioned, they're kind of a sore subject with most people around here. So please, I wouldn't take it personally. People don't like talking about brutal murders during their breakfast.
I'm sorry, ma'am. I hope I didn't disturb your customers.
Oh dear, they come in every day. They'll be fine. I just wanted to make sure you looked kind of down when they didn't talk to you. I wanted to make sure you were all right.
Oh, thank you. I understand why they come in every day. I have never had blood sausage this delicious.
Oh dear, you're blowing smoke, but I appreciate it.
Can I roll a perception check to find out if she's lying?
If
No, I'm not.
Sinishi's lying,
Yeah,
This is
is she really?
she's telling you she's telling the truth.
I am being completely sincere here. Like, no,
But can you roll and then still doubt her if he rolls low enough?
I rolled a 35. You're still not sure.
Still not. No, like Sinishi has taken a total shine to this old woman, and like this is the best breakfast she's had for a very long time, and just Sinishi's
eat
loved
that.
this cafe.
No, don't eat it.
Very, very glad she's here.
Well, just if you're going to talk to people you don't know about murders, ease into it next time. Just a suggestion for you.
Thank you. I've been trying to work on my human skills, and it's
Sinishi,
weird.
she seems pretty open. Why don't you try on her?
Ma'am, would you be open to joining us as able with your obviously fantastic and busy establishment? Would you be open to joining us and filling us in on what's been happening around the city? I'm sure you hear everything just based off of this blood sausage.
Well, if that's what you're going to judge me on, I'll take the compliments. You seem like a nice girl. Let me grab a chair.
And then she kind of like slowly, like she's very old, so she's just slowly moving around the table. Yes.
Tarnan will get up and seat her.
Oh, thank you, dear. He's such
Not
a
at all.
nice boy.
And then she sits.
You're doing a wonderful job at peopling. Keep it up, you'll get better.
Thank you. That's a lot. So, but what's been going on around here? What? You just everything.
Well,
She kind of looks around, and there are some other people, so she kind of leans forward and begins tapping like a long, gnarled, bony finger on the table.
well, it started a few months ago. People just showing up dead, this is Magnamar. People die occasionally. It's not unheard of. But these were merchants and politicians and moneylenders and guards showing up dead. But that's not the worst part. The worst part is how they were found.
And then she kind of looks around and leans in even closer.
Their jaws were gone, and they had some kind of star point, like, carved into their chests. It's disturbing. It's the kind of thing you hear in horror stories from the Underbridge and Scarecrow and all of those things. It's terrible, terrible. And it's been even worse over the last week. They found 7 or 8 a day.
Oh,
It's
7 or 8 day?
Yes, the last week, all the gods have been on edge. It's been terrible.
Huh.
that's horrible.
Nobody knows what's going on. If I hadn't had this place for the last 60 years, I'd pack up and leave and go with my grandson. He owns a farm. Wonderful pigs, chickens. Haven't seen him in 20 years, but I've always wanted to go back.
That sounds like a lovely place, and, well, I'm sure a visit would be amazing. I must selfishly say I am so glad that you are still here. We will be back tomorrow for more of this breakfast, unless, are you open for, lunch and or dinner?
We're open all day. Well, not all day. I need my beauty sleep. We're open till about 5 in the evening. Then we close, and I have my drink, have my story time, and then I go to bed. So any time before then, you're welcome to come back.
I don't know about that. I will be back. This, I love this place. I love you.
She picks up, she puts her hand on her shoulder and, like, taps your shoulder.
You're peopling wonderfully, lady. Wonderfully.
Is there any way I could get another plate of blood sausage?
Of course.
And then she leans back. Oh, wait. Sorry, I wrote it down. There you go. She leans back.
Raspberry! Bring another plate of blood sausage, you.
Ugh. And then, just like a minute later, comes out, basically runs over to the table, drops it. One of them almost rolls off, and he grabs it. Sorry. Here you go.
Thank you. Thank you very much. No. I'm busy stuffing my face again. So. If anyone else wants to converse with the old lady, because I'm eating again.
Grelda says, "Pardon me, miss. I'm afraid I didn't get your name."
No, you didn't.
That's her fucking name.
Well.
Shark.
Shark. Nope. Sorry, now you guys have me like double checking every one of these names.
Did you just change it so that it would be less
That's
something
kind
I
of
could
what
do
I
it?
thought. It's kind of the impression I got. I don't know if it's true, but
Just go through, look at it. Nope, not that name.
There you go.
look, he's writing down new notes.
No, her name is Aunt Jemima. That's not gonna fly.
I was not prepared for this character to become a thing.
Jemima Syrup Face? What?
Taser face.
No.
Taser face?
It's a metaphor. You can call me Mirabelle.
And then, Sean, can you tell me what she called out what the boy's name was?
See? Moving all around.
Sorry.
Razmir.
Okay. And then Grelda says, "Thank you very much. And thank you very much for your help, your assistance. And while you're here," she like slides the little, what remains of the slice of bread over. "Could you tell me what spice you use in this? It's really, really quite interesting."
Oh, that's my personal recipe for my amchur bread. Now, it's amchur, a little bit of brown sugar, and the secret ingredient is black cardamom. Just a pinch, just a pinch.
I get that. That's brilliant.
Ah, yes. My great-grand-aunt, she passed it down, and I've been tweaking and refining the recipe. I'm glad you like it.
Where do you get this amchur spice?
Well, it gets brought in from out of town.
Sean's like, "God damn it. Why do you do this to me?"
No. Hey, I just need to find the right page. That's all.
Well, it gets brought in from out of town. Unfortunately, that is only grown on the east side of Varisia, so it takes weeks to get it over here. But if you go to... There you go. If you go to Hawkins Dry Goods, It's on the other side of the district, but it's worth the trip. He always carries things from the other side of Varisia that are very difficult to get. It's a bit pricey, but you see the results.
Thank you very much, Mirabelle.
Of course, of course.
Well, has everyone finished their seconds and third helpings?
Yes. Much better.
Excellent. Thank you for your time, Mirabelle, and I'm pretty sure you'll be seeing us again.
Of course, of course. And then she stands up, and she puts her hands on Sanishi. She puts her hand on Sanishi's shoulder and leans down. Next time, say hello, pay them a compliment, then talk to them. It's a good way to people new people.
Oh, thank you. That is, I will try that next time. Thank you so much.
Of course, of course.
This woman has never seen Sanishi politely open 7 doors in a row.
That's probably true.
And then she kind of shuffles her way back behind the counter, and you can see that she kind of kind of sits back on a little stool that was back there and just continues to look.
Okay. Well, sorry everyone, this was a bust. The food was good. The coffee was actually pretty damn good. And, girl, have you ever made a cinnamon beer? Or an ale? Cinnamon ale. Cinnamon mead?
2. One of them was terrible. The other one had pumpkin in it, which I'm still on the fence about.
Cinnamon and pumpkin? Who would do such a thing?
I don't know. I think it needed nutmeg. And maybe some of that black cardamom. I'm not going to lie.
Huh.
I don't
If you
know.
ever make another batch, I am a bit of a fan of cinnamon.
Ooh.
I wouldn't be opposed to testing it out for you. I mean, assuming that Icky doesn't want to try it.
I have no idea what you're talking about this place being a bust. Granny Maybell is amazing.
No, the food is great and the people are great, but our underlying objective was to find more information and perhaps find another lead in case this lead that we're counting on so much doesn't pan out. We've got something else to go on.
We know that if there's 7 or 8 per day happening, and we just killed the guy who was doing it back in Sandpoint, someone else is doing it here.
Else is doing it, somebody
Unquestionably.
else. There's more than one murderer.
Well, they did call it the Brotherhood of the Seven, right? Wasn't that what it was?
Yep. Well, that's what Aldern had referred to in some of his writings, and I believe the Brotherhood of the Seven was also mentioned in the note from Zanisha.
Yeah. So are there 7 of them, each producing 1 murder a day, and now we've only got 6 more to hunt out?
That wouldn't make sense. She said there were 8. That's more than 7.
7 or 8. True. Never mind.
So we're dealing, if there are ties here with Brotherhood of the Seven, then there's either 7 leaders or 7 is just some, or
Well,
the
that
reference
note,
recorded star as opposed to anything with people involved.
I'm assuming we're standing outside now, right? We're not like in the inn.
Yeah.
Okay.
I agree. Let's be outside because I would not want to say anything to possibly upset my Granny Mabel because I fucking love that woman.
Just wait. Now that you've expressed a preference for an NPC, she will die horrifically.
I know. I'm like, I am waiting for it. Like she's gonna.
It
be out
was
there, like,
one NPC. Come on.
Yep. Probably tomorrow. In the morning, we'll be.
Anyone we befriend dies.
Icky, you're not my friend anymore. Forget it. Just saying.
Oh my
Tanishi.
God,
Eh. All right. Where else can we go, Sean, that Tarnan would feel might point us in the direction of the Foxglove? I mean, we already know he's a small-time noble. Tarnan is already aware that they were small-time, just barely in there. So I imagine they're not in the lower cleft, which is where we are now, correct?
You are, yes. You would be looking probably more towards... let me double...
Alabaster is all the rich guys, but they're not the rich guys.
No, probably
Capital District.
Keystone.
You're a jerk. Okay.
Yep, primarily of private homes.
And temples.
Hmm?
And
It's not
graveyards.
only temples, but it is the largest place of the temples, but it is also one of the wealthiest districts below the summit.
I believe this Foxglove Manor is in the Keystone District. Perhaps we should wander there and peruse, shop, ask questions. Anyone opposed to that?
No, I think that sounds like a good idea, and maybe stop at a bar in the area because people tend to talk from what I noticed and gathered.
Okay. Turner starts leading everyone towards the Keystone District with the
All right.
intention of trying to suss out where the Foxglove Manor is that we're looking for.
All right. In that case, give me an
Finally, our D20.
investigation check. We'll just consider this just general asking around, like during the trip to the district, and then asking around in the district.
12.
12.
Yep.
You don't have a modifier, or is that
No,
with you-
that was
your
with the modifier.
All right. I would say it'll take you probably take you about 45 minutes to walk to the district, and it's probably you kind of you walk in and out of places and talk to people on the street for about an hour and a half, 2 hours, before you finally get somebody who had actually heard of the Foxglove Manor, and they actually do point you to where it would be. So
Excellent.
at this point, I would say it's probably about 1 PM by the time you actually get directions to where it would be.
Let's stroll right past it.
All right. Everybody, you just get if you're gonna walk past it, everybody give me a perception check. Now do one for Geisen as well.
Cool.
18 perception.
Where's the house there?
Oh, Tarnan got a 22. Geisen got a 15.
15. Grelda, you're on mute.
What was it? Perception?
13.
9 for Sanishi and Ikki.
16.
16. All right. Everybody notices that the place has been kept up fairly well. I mean, it's a smaller manor. It's 3 stories. But compared to the houses around it, it's definitely average as far as like opulence goes. It doesn't stick out at all. Everybody can see that it's actually been kept up. Like, it doesn't seem to be in disrepair. It doesn't seem to have not been used. And Tarnan, with his over 20, as you're walking by, you actually, like, the windows are all open, and you see an older man, kind of dressed all in black, who you immediately notice the way he's dressed that he would be a butler, like a house butler. You see him walk by the window, and as he walks by, right on the other side of him, Tarnan actually notices, holding a book, looking at the window, you see Aldern Foxglove. Like, standing, reading a book, kind of talking to this butler as he walks by.
Fuck me. He's still alive.
Who's still alive?
Aldrin, I just saw him. Keep walking. But I swear, next to the butler, in the window, the drapes were open, and Aldrin was standing there.
I think you're losing it, Captain, but
There was a window?
there's a house.
No, you didn't roll that low this time. You didn't
Okay.
You didn't need to be picked up and, like, baby saddled through the window.
All I saw was a bookend.
But
that's
was
me.
it a bookend?
I think it was a bookend, but I'm not positive. Could have been a house.
Well, we need to go talk to him.
Hold on.
We
Icky, I just want to recap. Guy comes up to us after we just met. He's obsessed with you. I can't get his attention. He's obsessed with you. He thanks you for inspiring him to kill people. We put him down. 2 days later, I see him alive, and your response is, "Oh, we should go talk to him?"
go figure out what the actual shit. If he's so obsessed with it, he'll be thrilled to see me.
Okay.
Maybe we can talk to him this time before somebody crushes his head in.
And they both can't be Aldern. Was one of them a fake Aldern?
Yeah, like if this guy doesn't know us, then we leave.
How do you want to play this? Do we want to go do this right now, or do we want to wait until we talk to the justice and perhaps have the guards aware of our going up to there? How do you want to do it right now?
What's
see what
your
I'm getting at?
alternative?
My alternative is we wait, we talk to the justice, we get the guards, the captain that's coming, and is aware of the last couple of murders, and maybe, even if I'm not worried about them backing us up so much as being aware and not interfering. If we can wait, fantastic. If you don't feel it's worth risking, I mean, clearly, if we kill him today, he'll probably just be back again tomorrow.
I'm worried about losing him, but if he's in his own home, then surely he'll be here tomorrow, right? He'll be here later, right?
I'll tell you what. Watch the front door. I'm gonna go around and see if I can see any other exits, entrances, whatever. Maybe we watch this building and talk and converse until we have a plan where we can make sure he doesn't leave. Then again, how the hell do we know how he got here in the first place?
Maybe he has a twin brother.
You would think
It's a
with all
Spanish
the...
soap opera the whole time.
Oh my lord.
Does,
You would think
does
with
he ever
all
do a
the-
tea?
If he had a twin brother, would we have seen him in any of the paintings, you think, at the old house?
How would we know they're twins?
There was
Were
no
there-
picture with two Alderns in it. How's that?
That's all I got.
And I'll stay and watch.
Sinishi?
Otherwise, we can.
Whatever.
Sinishi, stay here with him, help him watch. Geisen, come with me. Geralda, you staying here or coming with?
Grelda says, I'd like to speak with you for a moment, if it would be all right.
Who are you saying this to?
You, Tarnan.
Absolutely. Oh,
So
over
we
here? Yeah.
walk- Yeah.
What's going on?
Are you okay? You have outright insulted Icky multiple times, and that's not like you. You've been rude, and he's distraught, and I can tell that you're upset. I don't know why, but I don't know if you noticed that you're doing it.
No, I don't think I have noticed.
We trust you. We're following you. You know this place better than any of us. We'll do as you say. And if there's anything we can do to help you make this easier, just ask.
How have I insulted Icky? In your eyes?
Just now, for example, when he said that he wanted to talk to the person, your response was to point out all the ways that that was the dumbest thing anyone could possibly have ever said. And you don't normally insult our team, our crew.
It was not meant to be an insult.
I didn't think it was.
I admit I am very much on edge because of my past and its interactions here. I want to find information for Icky. Well, it's not fair for me to say as much as he does, but perhaps I'm going about it in ways he wouldn't. Maybe I'm looking about how I would do it and not how he would see it.
And how we would do it. You're not working alone anymore.
You're right. But all I ever knew here was alone. Surrounded in a sea of people, this was one of the most lonely places. Tarnan shuts up and turns around for a minute.
Grelda just like emanates a sea of quiet from, ages of beer drinking. We know how to be quiet.
Thank you for bringing this to my attention. Continue to do so if I get out of line again.
We've got your back. If we burn down an entire goblin city just to make Sinishi smile, just think of how much damage we would do on your behalf. We're here for you.
You're right.
Thanks for being our leader. And then I go back and I hang out with Icky.
Geisen, come on, let's go make a quick check. Tarnan and Geisen are gonna go do a quick reconnaissance around the backside, see how many other entrances we can see.
All right. Just so you know, there is the way the townhouses are set up. There is like fences and gates. So each townhouse has a wall around it. So it's not just like you can walk around. Like you'd have to hop the fence and sneak around inside of this walled area. Just making sure you know the general layout.
So it's not like a block where you can go around the block.
No.
So there's only one road, and then there's no way to go over to the next road.
The townhouses, the manors, their fences kind of butt up against each other, so you can actually see the other row facing the other direction. If that makes sense.
Okay.
Like you have the townhouse, a fence. On the exact other side of that fence is another fence with the next townhouse.
So there's no.
Well,
Go ahead.
Oh, just a lot like suburbia.
Basically. Like one backyard literally butts right up to the next backyard, and then there's streets on both ends of it. So if you could go in and look around the house, but you would have to actually go inside of this fenced-in area, and you would be inside of the fence in order to circle the house. Just
Not
to
doing
make
that during the day. Not doing that during the daylight hours.
Yep.
But I would have no problem walking around the block and looking at the house from a distance through these spots between the fences.
Yes, and you can absolutely do that because the fences are only about waist high. It's not like a 10-foot wall. They're only about waist high.
So Geisen's not going to see crap, but I might.
All right, give me a perception check. You can hip him. You can have Sinishi like hip Geisen, like she did to Grelda.
That does have Alvander.
This is true.
Oh, that's true.
Oh, very true. Does he think about it?
Forgotten about Alavander.
Alvander has done nothing in months. All right.
Yeah,
I rolled
think about Alvander.
All right.
This is the perfect Ollivander time.
Give me a perception check, and Alavander does have advantage on perception. That focuses on.
Oh, he has advantage, but it's good.
Alavander does. Alavander also has a very. He's got his own specific stats.
I rolled a 15 for Ollivander. That's the bonus. I don't know what his stats are.
Description, notes, extras. Extras. They're under. Just so you know, they're under extras, and then you've got the familiars. It's got a cat and an owl.
Yep. Okay.
So he has a +3 to perception, but he does have advantage on perception checks that rely on hearing or sight.
Question for you, Sean.
then,
Yes.
How far apart do the characters need to get before you roll to find out how many of us died because we split the party?
Out of eyesight.
Why?
Out of eyesight.
Why?
All right, okay.
Why would you give that to him?
We're
Tammy.
in a safe city right now.
Safe. Yes.
Well, it depends on where in the city you are.
Okay, so Ollivander gets a modified 18. Tarnan gets a modified 12.
Okay. Tarnan, you can see that the way the house is set up, like as you walk around the back, you can see that there is the manor, and then there is kind of a courtyard set up for the backyard. Like there is stone and a couple small decorative trees and some bushes. Like it's a very nice place to sit out, and there's a small fountain right in the middle. And then there is a very small, like 10 by 10 kind of like outhouse, storage house on the corner of the property. Ollivander, adding to that, can see that there is one mostly glass door that leads out to the back. All of the windows on the upper two floors, the drapes are closed on all of them. And it does seem like the area has been kept up, just in general.
So it's pretty much in the middle of the block. It doesn't look like there's any easy way. I mean, there's a door to come out to the back patio.
Yes.
Correct?
Yes.
But
There's one mostly glass door, and there are windows.
But there's no clear gate to just walk out into another yard and
No,
the yard
there's
out.
no gate connecting the yards. There's only the gate going from the general street into.
So it's safe to assume that the average person not trying to run from anyone would not have a way out unless they chose to hop a fence.
Basically, yeah. The only way out of the yard is through the front gate or to hop a fence into one of the neighboring areas, one of the neighboring houses.
I pat Geisen on the shoulder a few times until he comes back and say, "Good work. Let's go back and tell everyone." We go back to the front and tell Icky and Grelda and Sinishi, okay, so the building has got a fence all the way around it. The block all has fences that butt up to each other. There's no easy way over. I mean, if we spook him and he tried to run, he could hop a fence. I got that. But unless he calmly walks out the front door, we should see him leave if he's going to leave. Icky, do you want to wait or do you want to go?
Well, who knows how long it's going to be before he leaves, if he leaves at all. I'll do what everybody else feels is best.
What is our other option? At this point, I haven't heard anything except for knock on the door, and that's not a good idea. Wait till tomorrow when
Well, we could watch.
the commander, I'm not going to say it, and the commander shows up.
We could watch. We could watch this house.
Yep.
And
Mhm.
not leave because Captain decides they're just having sex.
Wait, what?
Ouch!
I think.
Burn! Burn, city.
What did she say? I honestly didn't.
She said they're not going to leave just because the captain thinks they're having sex. That only
burn.
led to 2 murders. Come on.
And only one of them was
He was our friend.
Well, if we're really lucky, the murder that'll happen will be Foxglove, and we won't have to worry about him anymore. Anyway,
So, but
Um,
I
I think we stand out here a little. We're a little obvious.
certainly. Are there any businesses immediately nearby, Sean, that we could?
Not nearby.
you-
You're actually in. There's a few streets of just residential area where you're at.
I think this might kind of take us back to to what I had thought of before. We tried to find some of the workers in the house, and we, I guess, apparently not how to get in or out of the house. It looks obvious, but what the fuck is going on in there? Gently. Subtly. Not by me.
Option 1. We go up, we knock, and when the servants ask who we are, we say, hey, we met Lord Foxglove. Aldrin Foxglove invited us from Sandpoint. He wanted to say hello. Had we ever had a chance to stop in Magnamar? We were invited. Option 2. We sit around as spread out and inconspicuous as we can be until the cover of night and go in and let Icky ask all kinds of questions, awkward or not. Option 3, one of us or 2 of us stay here performing watch. The others come back to relieve later. We keep this up throughout the night. And in the morning, one of us stays here to continue the watch while the rest of us go meet with the justice and the captain returning. Icky, I say you have first decision on this.
I mean, I don't know. I feel like there's a chance that if we just walk up to the door, like he was willing to talk to us.
All right,
As
you guys keep discussing. I'll be right back.
as a strange corpse in the basement until he became the Skinsaw man.
Okay.
But I think you're right that any potential altercations will be at an advantage the later it is.
Oh crap! I need Sean.
Oh, now you need him?
Yeah.
John, we need an
Now that
adult!
Sean has walked away. Well, because my question is, have we smelled any of that decay?
That's good. That is good.
Do
Like-
owls have a sense of smell?
Well, they have a sense of smell, yeah, but that's
Yeah,
not their
they-
primary.
They don't have a sense of smell.
Because I don't
What?
think birds actually have a sense of smell.
Almost all
They-
of the
they-
diurnal birds of prey, eagles, hawks, and so on, are the same as owls and have no sense of smell. Sean doesn't know that we know that. We could ask him.
That's not right. That's not right at all.
Well, then would he look it up, or would he just go, or would he just?
Sure, they do. Of course, they can. They can smell a mouse from a half a mile away.
The smell is so bad that even creatures with no sense of smell can smell it.
I like that one. That's a good one.
That's how rank this smell is.
Well, you see, I mean, it was they've just slowly gone nose blind. I mean, it didn't just instantly become a super stench. Slowly built up.
Son.
You go nose blind.
Question for you.
Uh-oh.
Has there been any hint of that awful, wretched smell?
I will say that Tarnin and Owlavander did not catch anything. If anybody else wants to roll a perception check for me, you are more than welcome to.
I would love to roll a perception check on if I
Umbrella
smell.
is the super sniffer. Let's do it. This is gonna go really badly.
Icky
did.
percepts an 18.
18, Sanishi.
Sanishi percepts. I just had it in front of my eyes. A 14.
I got an 8.
None of you notice anything that resembles the stench you had run into previously.
In my defense, the wall is like right here, so the smell
you're-
would have had to like.
Yeah, you're doing the...
We're in a city, and like, there's so many reasons why we might not smell this. But you know,
Okay.
to be tracked, given that fucking maker of the scent is right fucking there. Maybe.
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 Oh.
Okay.
If we leave someone here to watch, how do we let the rest of the group know what happened? Like, how do we communicate? So
Guys, guys, what if
Smoke signals.
we
No, sorry.
we go back to Granny Mabel, we get a bunch of those sweet buns, we come back here, we knock on the door, and we say that we're from like this place, and they're doing a free sample testing door to door, and like, or you know, or that they've been selected for like they won. The servants, the workers of this house have won this free thing of cinnamon rolls. And so we're delivering it and celebrating them for winning this contest that they didn't know that they entered. So that gets us in the door, ingratiates us with the workers, and we can get our fucking information. Then they're easy effort.
Or, as soon as Aldern realizes it's us, assuming it's him and not a twin brother, then all of that becomes pointless in the first.
Well, yeah, but it's not like he's going to enter his own door. Probably.
He invited us to this place.
He invited you.
Yeah. It just seems like a
A way to get information without him knowing that we're trying to do it?
until he sees it, until he sees us.
It's just an idea.
It's a good idea, Sanishi, except for the fact that one of us is very tall and covered with brightly colored feathers. I don't think they're gonna buy that it's the Orc Scout cookies.
I'm green. Oh! Icky.
Icky is very, very noticeable to people who aren't used to him the way that we are. We love him,
Right.
but other people might be like, don't see that every day.
I didn't see that. You're right. That's a good point.
But it is a great idea. You should know that.
Thank you.
I'm torn between walking up now and simply walking away, not even bothering to watch the house, meeting up with the sheriff, meeting up with the captain that's coming and the justice, and giving them information that we've already got. I mean, we have more information now to present to this justice than we had.
Mm-hmm.
But wouldn't the justice already know that 8 more murders happened last night?
Well, we have now seen somebody that we were under the impression was the murderer in Sandpoint and had put his corpse on the sheriff's desk.
Okay.
Which is also a problem because the only reason they know it's Aldrin is because we said it was, and he was wearing Aldrin's clothes. He didn't look a lot like Aldrin
Anymore.
when we put the corpse
That's
on
also
him.
a very good point.
And it kind of sounds a little crazy to tell anybody that. I think the odds that you're going to get locked up, Captain, are a little higher than that they're actually going to agree to do anything about what you saw. And not the type of locked up that criminals are done. Have done?
Have done to them.
Wood done.
The loony bin type of locked up, Captain. The loony bin.
Yeah, I haven't had to break out of that one yet. That'd be interesting.
Let's not start. Not now.
Fair
I mean,
enough.
it's on your bucket list.
No, not today. Maybe later, when we have a really dull moment, perhaps.
Oh, then yeah, it could be a lot of fun to break out of a human loony bin.
I'm kind of leaning towards just walking up and seeing what's going on.
Well, Icky, you were invited. You feel up to
Alright.
that?
Sure. Why not? All right. So Icky's gonna glance around to the group, make sure nobody has anything else to say about this whole thing, and then not head on up to the door and take his claw and give a little knock.
All
We're all
right,
gonna
yep.
die.
The gate opens easily. You walk in. There is about 30 feet of a pathway between the gate and the actual building. There's columns, like the stone columns that come down just outside a little porch area. It's a very nice, heavy oaken wood door, and it's actually got a knocker on it. So you knock a couple of times, you hear it echo, and then the door handle turns and it opens, and in front of you is a very tall, very gaunt, older gentleman with a very long, slender face. His hair, it's black with little strips of gray, and it's tied up into a very tight bun on his on the top of his head, and he is wearing a black almost suit, and it's very well kept. It's very tight and fitted, and he walks up, opens the door, his hands behind him, he stands up, and he's easily 6'5", 6'6". He's a very tall human man, and he looks down at all of you. Yes, what may I do for you?
Just look at him and I said, like, we're here for Aldern. He'll be expecting me.
May I ask who calls?
So he's like, look at me. I'm the bird guy. Like, just
Do you have a name, sir?
my name is Icky. Tell him I'm here.
Icky, yes. Would you like to wait in the foyer while I go attend to Mr. Foxglove?
Please.
Please come in. And he opens the door, and as you step in, you walk into a foyer that is about an entryway that's about 50 feet long, and it's kind of a T-shaped. It's 50 feet long. That longer part goes for about 15 feet, and then it shortens up into like a 15-foot hallway that goes a little further. It's very nicely decorated. There is high-end rugs. There's plants. A standing clock. Like it's very nicely decorated. He just points at points down and asks you to wait. And he exits to as you walk in to the west, you see a door on that side. Directly ahead of you, there is 2 doors that go further in. So he opens the door and closes it behind him, and you're standing there for a couple of minutes. And then he opens the door again, and you see him step back out. "If you please, Mr. Foxglove will see you now." And then he waves his hand in and holds the door open to the room that he's currently standing in.
Alright, Icky will head on in.
Tarnan follows.
Yep, same.
All right,
It's
then.
pizza time.
What was that?
It's picture time.
Pizza time?
Picture.
No.
Picture time.
No. So he opens the door, and it's a 15-foot by 15-foot room. You see a couple of very nice windows on the south end and the west end of this room, and that's where Tarnan had seen Aldern through. In the middle of the floor, there's actually 2 very high-backed, lush chairs, and sitting on.
You might want to hide this.
What?
You might want to hide
What
that
we're
picture.
seeing.
Oh, whatever. I don't think that's what you're
Okay.
supposed to see, but whatever. You see 2 very high-backed chairs, and sitting in the chairs, sitting in one chair, you see Aldern in the exact same suit that you had seen him in the last time, as when you had fought the Skinsaw Man, the exact same blue noble suit, and he's sitting in the chair and he's holding open a book. And then in the chair right next to him, you actually also see a woman in a long flowing green dress with very thick black hair, and her face matches Aisha Foxglove, the portraits you had seen of her. And she
Ghost
is.
we saw.
What was that?
That was the ghost we saw as well.
Yes. The ghost was this woman resembles the picture exactly. The ghost you saw had more of I guess ghastly features, I would say. The spirit you saw didn't exactly match the picture. This woman is almost a mirror image of the paintings you had seen. They both look at you, and Aldern puts down his book, stands up, and you see the woman sitting next to him is knitting, and he puts his hand behind his back. Icky, yes, I was told you wanted to speak with me. Yes.
Does his voice match exactly?
Yes.
Tarnan no longer believes that this is the guy. Tarnan thinks this is some kind of a illusion, but I don't know.
His voice
how to
does
play
match
that.
exactly.
Detect magic? No, you probably can't do that without them noticing.
Sure, I can. It's at will.
Is it an ability or a spell, though?
It is an ability.
I think you can do it without.
That's what I'm trying to look up. I don't.
Detect magic. It is verbal and somatic. So you can cast it at will, but it would take. You'd have to speak, and it requires. It's what?
It's one of my warlock. Where the hell is it? No, it's not that.
You can cast detect magic at will without expending a spell slot.
It's Eldritch Invocations.
Yep.
You learn. Blah, blah, blah.
It allows you to cast the spell at will, but you still are casting the spell.
Wait, casting a what now?
Well, who did-
We
Tarnan
don't
doesn't
any
do
of this,
magic.
Vicky, it's fine.
So yes, you can still do it, but it will take verbal and somatic to do it.
Is somatic the woodly woodly?
Yep. Somatic's the magic hands. So yes, you would have to speak and do some hand movements, but you can absolutely do it at will.
I would like to do it with like a sleight of hand, and at the same time, I'll say, "Nice suit." Admire his suit, and then lean down to Geisen as if I'm commenting to his refined tastes, and sleight of hand it.
Give me a sleight of hand check. And Nikki?
Oh, please.
If I may, I feel like at this point, Icky knows Tarnin well enough to know when he's bullshitting. And so Icky would then perhaps, like, I don't know, like, puff up a little bit.
Make a distraction of some kind. Get the attention.
And so he's like, well, you're the one who said that you wanted us to come, you wanted me to come and visit.
All right.
So here
I will give Tarnin advantage on the sleight of hand
Sweet.
check with that distracting.
I rolled a 20, modified 20.
20? Then you get it off, like you are able to cast the spell.
You're able to change the handle.
So you change the handle without an issue. No, you are able to. Yeah, you got to do the hand movement when you change the handle.
Ow, 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 ow.
So you are able to cast the spell without anybody realizing you're casting it. Let me read Detect Magic real quick.
Oh, what's that? In this situation, if somebody uses Detect Magic, we automatically gain 5 levels. How crazy is that?
Hey, object.
That's what I heard.
Only if you're in the middle of Magnamar during the day without sheriffs around. Oh, wait.
Oh, okay. I was thinking it was one. I was thinking it was one thing. No, that is not what happens. You actually lose 5 levels. No, I wanted to read it. I had to read a couple of different things just to be sure. So, as Icky begins talking and Tarnin casts the spell, all Aisha, Aldern, and the butler all glow for Tarnin to see.
Tell everyone to cast spells or just go with it.
So
I want to hear
Aldern,
where the suit came from.
Say
We're all
again?
I want to hear about the suit.
yeah. So Aldern looks at Icky. My manservant here told me that you knocked on the door and wanted to speak with me. So what can I do for you?
Do you not recognize me?
I mean, I know I've met you before, but I don't know what you're doing here.
Turn to Tarnin. This isn't the guy.
No, they're all under some kind of guise. They have to be.
I'm sorry, Aldern takes a step back, puts his hand on Sinisha's leg, or Aisha's leg.
Okay.
Sorry.
Whoa.
He walks up.
if
He
he
walks
touched
up
Nishi that way.
and cuddles with the axe. No, he puts his hand on her leg, pats it a little bit, looks at all of you. Well, we knew it was going to come to this. And then as soon as he says that, all 3 of them have a shimmer that covers their entire body, and Aldern and Aisha, after the shimmer, their visage begins to waver and then change, and they both change to completely white creatures. Their face
Racist.
has no expression at all, no eyes, no nose, no mouth. They're completely blank on their faces. Their arms are probably a good 6 to 8 inches longer than they were. Tipped with long, sharp claws on the end. And then the butler is basically the same, only a little shorter. His arms are a little shorter, and he just has very large, like his fists, his hands are balled up into fists, and they're about 3 times the size of normal, but he also doesn't have a face. And we won't do it now, but I'm going to have everybody roll initiative. And that's where we're going to pick up next time.